Hello Instant Magicraid community, Flaery here once again. Today we'll be doing another hero build, and this time it will be Lydia because she has been requested by a viewer, and yeah, I do try to help my viewers really. Before we jump into that, I just want to show off, and I know you hate me. We won our last championship in the legendary division, which would give us the number 8 of championship wins, and sadly legendary division came too late for me. I could have had like a little more, but I'm happy with that result, and we're getting into ultimate next. Okay, and let's continue with the Lydia. Okay, so Lydia, one of the most important heroes in the game, and to this day she's still one of the most broken heroes because, well, she does everything really, from effect res reduction, effect hit reduction, piercing, attack rate, consolidation, tenacity, cooldown reduction, cooldown increase, turn meter reduction, did I forget something? Yeah, probably. Well, she is a wall of text and it's really hard to understand her, but let's sum it up. Okay, so her S1, really easy. When people recommend you to go 100% crit rate, this is what they mean. This is the only ability that you would want 100% crit rate. Obviously, her doing damage is based on her crit rate, but still, this is why you need the 100% crit rate, because if you crit, it will be 10% reduction, which is nice against some bosses that can be reduced early on to in PvP to. Nowadays, it's not so important because, well, the speed and turn meter in PvP is not as important as it used to be, but obviously you should still go for 100%. Okay, her S2 gives attack up 2, which is very good, even at exclusive 0, and if you have her at exclusive 0, this is what you should be doing, because attack up is, in my opinion, better and has more uses than tenacity up, because tenacity up reduces crit damage taken, and, well, it can be used obviously in PvP. In PvE, not so many bosses are critting, but can be nice. But attack up too, very nice at the start of the battle, can be utilized in a cleave team, very good there. Okay, something else to note here: depending on which ability you start with, your Lydia will provide a different effect for your team. So if you start with S2, she will be reducing your team's cooldowns by 1 when she reaches 8 stacks of her this buff, and she gains a stack whenever a hero from your team uses an active skill, including herself, meaning you want her very fast in PvE, so she can cast her active abilities more often, so you can reduce your team's cooldowns more often. You should be watching out for this, because, well, for example, you could be at Dianmu at 2 turns for her S4, but then you would want to act with some other unit before Dianmu, so she can cast like S2, S4, and then Lydia would reduce her cooldown, and then you would be able to cast Dianmu's S4, for example. Okay, something else. If you start with her S4, you'll be increasing the enemy's cooldowns. That would be this buff, and it needs 12 stacks to trigger. Also, if you start with S4, you'll be stealing 1 random buff whenever an enemy attacks your team, your whole team, and this is the most broken ability in PvP, especially early on. This is just stupid, and people are wondering how are they stealing my buffs. Well, this is how. They have an exclusive one, Lydia, If you have her at exclusive 1 and you're wondering what to do with her, well, just start with her S4, skill 4. That would be her ultimate, so to say. And also this one reduces effect hit and effect res every time she goes, which can be very annoying. It can reduce the breakpoints for a lot of units that rely on effect hit and effect res, like for example Beatrix, who else? Morikis on effect hit, Atkins on effect res. There's others, I'm not gonna list them all, but there's others too. So basically S4 in PvP is the better one usually, but it's up to you really. If you use her in a cleave and you don't have exclusives, attack up is obviously gonna be better. I'm not gonna be explaining all of this, it's just too much. Just went over her easy kit to try and understand. Okay, so we have Imprison at exclusive 3. This is a very good ability in PvP. In PvE not so much really. There's very few scenarios where Imprison would help you, like versus a wave. In Dwarvens, for example, if there's a space or, well, or focus or something like that. So it denies turn meter boosting, it denies also pursue and counterattacks. Well, only counterattacks, I think. Yeah, I'm not too certain on that, don't take my word for it. Okay, at exclusive 3 she also starts doing very good damage, and her exclusive 2 is the cooldown reduction that we mentioned. So this is the one. So she's a very important unit, used everywhere, wherever she can be used really. She's a top tier unit to have, and is probably the first LT that you should be going for if you can afford it, of course. If you cannot afford her exclusive 2, you should probably be picking up Nicholas from the free exclusive chest, because just there's no Lydia in there yet. In terms of build, what you want is 100% crit rate, not necessary really if you're not going for her for PvP. For PvP it's nice to have the damage here, obviously the attack. The effect hit is not recommended. I know a lot of people are going with this and they're recommending it. It really is not. It's only for her in prison, and if you don't have her exclusive 3, you're not doing anything with your effect hit. And even then, I'll tell you why effect hit is not needed. Because all of the tanks and the supports are probably well above 100% effect res, and you're not going to apply Imprison on them with Lydia unless you do a 200 effect hit Lydia, which is just not necessary really, because, well, in the end game, space is really not in the meta. You're only gonna be stopping Big Jack or Jack and Rome, and like Barista is not used in the end game. In early game, obviously, it's very good, but again, you wouldn't need high effect hit, because in the early game people don't have high effect res, so effect resistance, for those that don't know what effect res means. So do not aim for effect hit. You'll have some from your sanctuary, your talents and so on. I would say probably above 50% is good to have. It's nice to have the ability. In terms of echoes, this is the best echo for her, because she will start at the start of the battle, she will act at the start of the battle and buff your team further. Obviously her own echo is good on her, but it's not doing too much for your team really, and she's more of a team booster. Okay, the first legendary aura you should be doing in your account is Combat Vanguard aura, because it's the best, it's the easiest one to rank and the best one for the price you're paying. This is the biggest boost you'll get in your team for both PvE and PvP, and because she acts at the start of the battle, she will apply Combat Vanguard on the enemy team right away. Really nothing better here to do in terms of aura. In terms of blessings, you want speed on her, not effect hit. You want speed on her, saying that again. And then I've just went with some Kraken Blessings here for more damage on her, some tenacity too. Just to make her more tankier, because she is very squishy, and I mean, she is still squishy for me, and I'm planning to level her up just to make her a lot more beefier and running double devour. And with Beatrix and her S2, I can actually one-shot cleaves, even right now. Okay, terms of emblems, this is what you should be running for your PvP emblems, and yeah, this looks good. And for your PvE emblems, you should be going with the speed one, and actually better to go with defense if you don't rely on her doing some damage. I just maybe should change these two and just go with some more defense and so on here, but really the speed is very important on her, and you should do the same with her set too. You should be running like a secondary set with very high speed. As you can see, I'm not crit capped here, I'm just going for the best speed gear that I can give her. And when you put her when we put her secondary emblems, you can see that we get really good speed here. Now you really don't need to go that extensively, because really it would just make your Lydia act a little faster to reduce your cooldowns, but it's not that important. It's just nice to be like above 2.2 speed, I would say, maybe 2.4, really depending on where you are in the game. Okay, let's return the gear that we had on her. Okay, yeah, so we did Echo or a Blessing emblem. Early game, in terms of auras, I really wouldn't bother with doing something else. Maybe Victory Rush can be alright if you're pushing like Tower of Mark or Faction Abyss, that's fine, but don't overinvest in the green and blue auras too much, because you'll be wasting your runes, not your runs, but your gems when you try to disassemble them, and then you gain less experience for the levels on the aura. Now, for example, if I try this, this is at like 60 or 80% of the experience I used for level 24. I don't remember the value. It's better to regress the unit. Okay, that is the short version of Lydia. The long version would require a 1 hour video to do, and I don't want to do that. Maybe we can show her off. I don't know. Yeah, okay, we use her here. So I do believe I'm starting with S4, just because I want to. So this is my team, actually, the opposing one, not this one. No, I'm starting with attack up for some reason. Yeah, I guess I want more damage in my team, but that's really not the smartest thing to do. I think I was doing it just to beat this person, just so I can kill their era 2 at the start of the battle. Now you'll see this is the stack that reduces her cooldown. Now it's at 7. Now we casted an active skills and she reduced our cooldowns, but then their Lydia went and increased our cooldowns, so that's kind of funny, but it is what it is. Let me see if I have this correctly fixed. Yes, it is S4 starter. Maybe I can show it in a different manner. I need a stronger opponent here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we are starting with S4 here. They are probably starting with S4 too. No. Okay, so we started with S2 again. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I think no, this is not my lineup. This is my lineup. No, this is not my lineup. This is my lineup. It says for starter. That's really weird. Anyways, this watch does either increases or reduces cooldowns. And I hope you found this helpful, and I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to me. If not, that's okay. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.